With the automotive tariffs, buying an American car is more important than ever. Check this out. Cars.com now has a list of the most American cars. We're going to get into that today, but also we have some Honda news launching rockets like that land themselves, kind of like how Tesla does it, or should I say SpaceX. Honda also, guys, we'll talk about this rickshaw thing. I kind of want one. And we'll talk about where the tariffs are going. Seems to be nowhere with Japan. And guys, if you like automotive news, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I got a CRV event coming. I have other Honda. I can't say too much about Honda. All right. So I also have a Hyundai Palisade and other things like Nissan Infiniti still yet to come this summer. And who knows what the fall will bring. For sure, RAV4, I will be driving the RAV4 redesign later this year. Make sure you are locked into the channel. Which are the most American made? Now, before I really started getting into this, just to put it in perspective, just because there are vehicles that are more American made than others doesn't mean that they're exempt from like price hikes or tariffs or anything like that. I feel like the chances of price hikes are lessened, and the price hikes themselves, when they go in fact for these vehicles, might not be as bad as some cars brought in from Japan or Europe or something like that. So just because they're American made doesn't mean they won't get hit with tariffs, because the parts still get hit with tariffs if those parts are not from the United States or in alignment with the USMCA agreement. With that aside, Tesla, by far and away, has the most American made vehicles, 3Y, S, and X. All right, so the sexy models, there you have it. Then you have the Jeep Gladiator. I reviewed the Jeep Gladiator maybe about a year and a half ago. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's a convertible plus a Jeep plus a pickup in one vehicle. It's super unique. I had a good time in it, and I'm still trying to figure out the steering on it a year and a half later. But other than that, it was great. All right, EV6. This one's interesting. This is our first Korean car, or should I say Korean branded car. Kia EV6, this is made in Georgia, West Point, Georgia here. And this vehicle is an electric car, just like the Tesla. So it seems like electric cars might be a little bit easier to make more American made than other cars. But don't forget Honda. There's Honda with the Ridgeline, the Odyssey, the Passport. The MDX is not far behind either. So Lincoln, Alabama has one more vehicle, the Pilot. Oh, there it is. I'm also, this is the old Passport, by the way. I am reviewing the new Passport this week, so stay tuned for that. It's a white Trail Sport Elite. ID4, another electric vehicle, making the top 10. So more than half? Are we at 4, 5, 6? So 60% of the top 10, 6 out of 10, are electric vehicles. And if you missed my video earlier this week, electric vehicles actually went down, I think 14% last month compared to the year prior. So electric vehicle sales are actually going down right now, largely due to Tesla and maybe some of the German automakers' EV sales diminishing. Yeah, MDX, love the Type S on here. Let's see here. Wrangler, not that big a surprise because the Gladiator is made in the same Toledo plant. All right, RDX made in Ohio, so more Acura and Honda, Accord, Integra, Kia Sportage. This is in Georgia. This is our second Korean car outside of the EV6. Our first Toyota. The Corolla Cross Hybrid is actually more American made than the Chevy Colorado. All right. Nissan Pathfinder in Smyrna, Tennessee. I saw this assembly line last fall when I was there for the Nissan Fast Forward event. I saw Brie Larson there. That was pretty cool. Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Again, not a big surprise. F-150 Lightning, not a big surprise because these electric vehicles seem to be very American sourced. Ford Explorer, it's good to see that in the top 25 because essentially every police department in the United States uses Ford Explorers, and at least they're pretty American made, seemingly within the top 25. One of my favorite vehicles, the Toyota Camry. This is average transaction price, but if you saw me look at prices for it recently, you can get them for 27, 28K in my area. Ka-ching, because that's the grade I like the most, the LE on the Camry. It's the fastest and it gets the best fuel economy and it's the most comfortable. All right. Yeah, I mean, I could keep going. All right, you have the Corvettes, all these models, right? I'm not. We would be here all day long. I'll put this into the description. If you guys, interesting, the hybrid. I think Honda brings in quite a few of the hybrid components from Japan into the Marysville, Ohio plant, where they're building that EV hub and reworking that Marysville assembly line to accommodate EVs. Honda is conducting successful launch and landing of experimental rockets. Now, I love this image because this is about as high up as it went. All right, it only went up like 300 meters. It stayed in the air for a total of almost a minute, 57 seconds. This reusable rocket, that's a tongue twister, landed within 37 centimeters of the target touchdown point. That's pretty decent. They don't really say how they plan to use the rockets other than their vehicles can use satellites. So if Honda has a bunch of their satellites in the air, they can have autonomous cars a little bit easier potentially than the competition. That's just a thought. I don't know. What are they going to use it for? I'm not quite sure, but I love how Honda is so diverse. Motorcycles, cars, jets, watercraft, engine like V8 engine in their boat engines, all that stuff. All right. So this rocket test was in the Hokkaido Island. All right. In this area, it's a small town right here in Taiki. All right. So this is where they launched it out of. So very fascinating. There's not a lot of people there. So if something were to go wrong, it's just pure nature up there. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. Honda has this thing. So we have the Passport, we have the Trail Sports, we have the Passport Trail Sport. Now we have a Fastport. I'm not joking. We have a Fastport as a last mile business solution as an e-quad. So it's actually an electric bicycle rickshaw sort of thing. It's going to be the last mile of delivery for city deliveries, it seems like to me. There's not that many places in Florida they could use this. Miami would probably be the only one I can think of, or downtown Tampa or something like that. They're officially revealing this in Frankfurt, Germany on June 25th. Vehicle deliveries projected to begin in late 2025 with U.S. production planned for the Honda Performance Manufacturing Center, Ohio, the PMC. The PMC used to build the NSX and other PMC special editions of other cars like the TLX or the RDX, for example. So the fact that they are using that plant at the PMC in Ohio, going from building NSXs to building last mile e-bike rickshaws, that's the best way for me to explain. And also, by the way, it's just crazy how they're switching that production. Anyways, I wanted to say they're using the mobile power packs to power this thing, which makes a lot of sense, but not necessarily for the United States market. Because nowhere do you have like a mobile power pack kiosk. I think they're doing it maybe in India, for example. They have like, instead of a propane swapping station at a Walmart, for example, is this going to be a Honda mobile power pack battery swap? So you don't have to stop and charge your vehicle. You just swap the batteries. Pretty self-explanatory. So, I mean, this thing's cool, but it's just, I like how Honda, it's 23 miles of range. It goes 12 miles an hour. It weighs 650 pounds for the payload. Maximum payload is 650 pounds. Yeah, it goes up to 23 miles. It's cool. I kind of want one, but I wouldn't use it. I would use it to like move gardening equipment around my house property. So it's pretty cool, I guess. And you have a big tablet up front. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want one? Do you want a Honda Fastport? I don't know. Obviously, it's for small business or big businesses in small areas, meaning like tight areas with narrow streets and corridors and hallways and stuff like that to squeeze that vehicle through. It makes a lot of sense in European cities, Japanese cities, the United States. It's probably fairly limited. But that's why they're revealing it over in Germany, because obviously they have tighter streets over there. Japan's hopes for G7 deal with Trump vanish on car tariff impasse. There is no agreement made, not even any ground made on tariffs in Japan. All right, meaning the United States import tariffs on their vehicles. It's not looking good. Japan can't just say, hey, we'll let everything be built in the United States, because like a huge portion of the economy in Japan is dependent on car manufacturing. And it has shrunk over the years, of course, but it's still a huge economic anchor for Japan. And so they can't, like, Japan is not going to reduce their production capacity in Japan, because it hurts their employees, it hurts the businesses, it hurts their country, it hurts their culture massively if they stop producing cars there. And you could say, hey, Kirk, it's hurt American culture as well. It's hurt American jobs as well. That's true. As all the jobs, not all of them, but insane amounts of jobs got shipped north and south of the border. And I know Canada has had a stronger relationship with the United States for building and sourcing parts since the very beginning of the car industry. So Canada's a little bit different, but like especially Mexico with the really cheap labor there. So many vehicles, nearly every single manufacturer in the United States has a cheap labor force and manufacturing hub, or multiple, down in Mexico. And you can say, Kirk, that really hurt the American auto industry, hurt the economy here. And you got to see both sides. Everyone wants, I shouldn't say everyone. Right now, it seems like every country wants cars to be built in their country so that they are less dependent on outside factors, such as America changing things up, such as China changing things up. Those are the two players. So it's not going to be pretty for Japan, I have a feeling. And what does that mean for Americans? It's not going to be pretty for price tags. Look at what's happening right here. Mitsubishi hiking prices on new U.S. vehicles by an average of 2%, not the 25% import tariff they're being hit with. So it's just a small increase. But Mitsubishi typically has dirt cheap cars. They're some of the cheapest new cars on the market. I can't wait for Mitsubishi's Delica to come to the United States, the plug-in hybrid minivan. I can't wait for their version of the Leaf they're working with Nissan on. They're also working with Nissan for another vehicle for the United States market. But in the meantime, all of their cars come from Japan. As a result, they're hiking prices. But they're not the only one. They'd mentioned Subaru, of course, hiking prices right here, $750 to $2,000. Ford with their Mexican-made cars, as much as $2,000. So everyone's hiking prices. The Prius that I just, the 2026 Prius that I just broke on the channel for the Nightshade anyway, that only went up like $200 to $300. That's not 2%. That's like 0.2%. Let me see here. It's 0.06%, I think, that the Prius went up in price, where we're seeing an average of 2%. So what is that? So we're probably talking $1,000. What's 2%? That's like $600 increase. That's just a guess, right? Around $600 increase per Mitsubishi on average. Some might be less, some might be more. So price hikes are happening. And should you just buy American made? Well, those price hikes are happening too, multiple percentages. Like the Model S and the Model X, they got refreshed, but they also went up $5,000. So price hikes are happening for everyone. Buying American made might make you feel better about your purchase, and these vehicles might not be as highly affected by tariffs in the near future. Time will tell, though. In the meantime, we have rockets, we have Honda's electric bike rickshaw, and tariffs going nowhere. Tariff talks going nowhere with Japan, unfortunately. Also, you guys in the comments, thank you for watching. Is your next car going to be quote unquote American made? All right. Are you going to pick a car from this list? All right. There's 117 models on this list. I mean, you can see the very bottom is a bunch of Mercedes models that are built in Alabama. But I'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day and peace.